supervolcano. All in all, pretty quiet, a little bit of magma intrusion, but no earthquake activity, large or small. So here was a recent launch. This is some footage that was shared with me by Chad, and he happened to notice these large white orbs in the field of view of the rocket launch during the rocket launch as it was exiting the atmosphere of the Earth. There went one orb, and here comes another one. There were three total. There was the first one. Here comes the second one right here. And the reason I'm showing you this is because it looks like the one you're going to see off the coast of Florida here in just a minute. There's a bright one right there. I don't know what that looks like on the ground from Earth, even if you can see it. I know it's definitely visible from up here, and you're going to see yet another one. We're going to zoom in, take a closer look. I zoom in on these orbs. I was just looking for any possible features on these things, and there were none. They're just bright, fairly large orbs high above the Earth during a recent SpaceX launch. And there goes number 2. And then there's a third one that shows up over here from a slightly different angle. Check this out. You've got one right there as well. Again, I don't know if that was even visible from the ground. It may have been too high up above the clouds. And there it is right there. I don't know if that was even visible from the ground because it may have been above the clouds. But the one you're going to see from Reddington, Florida is very bright. It's very low to the ground. And here we go. We're going to Reddington Beach, Florida. Video footage sent in by Andy from Reddington Beach on 12/5 of 2021. This was just last night. This is not the moon. He zooms in on this thing. You can see it's casting light across the Gulf of Mexico. I have no idea what this was. From a distance, it looks like a large orb, like we just saw from the SpaceX launch. But again, I don't know if these are related. Those were on a different night, but that doesn't mean they can't be related. These could still be orbiting the Earth. I don't know what this thing is. He saw it. You're going to see how far away it was. Look at the light being cast across the Gulf of Mexico. Look how far away that thing was. And based off of that tremendous distance, I mean, that was a long ways away. That thing was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10, maybe 15, quite possibly even 20 foot tall, maybe even bigger. Difficult to tell. Here I zoom in quite heavily. The moon does not behave like that. It's changing colors. It almost looks like it's rotating. A very bizarre orb here. It's not a Chinese lantern because it would be moving and it would be flickering almost out by now. They don't last that long. And it would be being influenced by the upper level winds. This thing is remaining stationary. Here I enhance in a couple of different formats. Over here on the right, light is dark and dark is light. And over here on the left, I just kind of juiced it up a little bit, pulling forward some more of the light and more of the color. And you can see it's got a lot of color. That's definitely not the moon. The moon does not behave like that while it's being videoed. You don't see these types of
All right, Shalom. This is Harold One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. It's going to be a quick one, but a good one. This is Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 18. I'll start from 17. It says, 16. The appearance, all right, the appearance of their work, of the wheels and their work, were like unto the color of beryl. And they four had one likeness in their appearance, and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. All right, or what they call the orb, or what we see in this third dimension, what comes from the fourth dimension. We see as a globe, but it's really an object sitting there spinning. And the shine from it may look like a globe or orb. Now, check this out. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. All right, because a lot of those chariots have angels in them. All right, now check this out. It said the rings of them were dreadful and full of eyes round about. And you heard that guy that was speaking when he was showing the chariots just now. He was saying that that chariot was huge. It was like about 20 feet tall. Probably bigger than that. He was just estimating. All right, them things are huge. All right, so now check this out. It says here, 18. As for their rings, what's the rings? That word rings go back to rims or strakes. All right, Strakes. And the scriptures speak of in Psalms 91, the Lord will cover you with his wings. Now that word rings goes back to the word Gaab. All right, Gab. It says the back, the top, a rim. And it says what? Rim of a wheel. So it got an edge to it, man. That's how you know it's a vehicle that Ezekiel saw. He saw a vehicle in the sky. All right, the same thing we're seeing today. But it said as a boss convex projection of a shield, like a shield, man, the edge of a shield, right? To hollow or curve, so it was like a curve, so it's circular, the edge of it. But it said they were dreadful, meaning, check this out, look at this real quick. All right, it says verse 18, as for their rings, and that word rings, it says rings or their strakes. Let's see what that is real quick before we move on. All right, you see I typed in strakes and look what popped up. Whoa, a wing strake, a ventral strake, a nose strake. It's on the edge of a flying vehicle, man. Strakes are small blade-like devices mounted on aircrafts. So these chariots have strakes, man. They have small like devices that are mounted on them, on the aircraft, that advance aerodynamics by directing airflow over certain control surfaces at specific angles of attack. Whoa, specific angles of attack. It's an army. This not only increases overall control authority, but increases safety by preventing loss of control at lower speeds, man. So that's what a strake is. It's something that can be found on the aircraft. All right, so just like you see in the movies, you see the edge of the chariot coming through. All right, so that's what we should picture, the edge of it, like that. See that? Huge. The strakes of it. All right. Wow, look at that. It's from a movie, but just tweaking the imagination a little bit. All right. So now, all right, this is a perfect one right here. All right, so let's get back to it. This is Ezekiel 1:18. It says, as for their rings, so that means the rim of it, all right, or the streaks, the edge of it, they were so high, like the guy just said, it was like 20 foot tall, probably bigger than that. He was just estimating from a far distance. All right, they were so high that they were dreadful. Let's see what dreadful means. So this thing gonna be so huge, these chariots, they're gonna be so huge. And if they were to sit on the ground, they'd be so tall and high up in the air like a building. Like looking at the Eiffel Tower or something, a tall building, It says, Yara'ah, fear, reverence. Awesome. So these Jones look awesome. So the chairs are awesome, right? They look awesome. Like amazed. Or a terrifying thing, man. It's gonna be so to the Israelites, it's gonna be awesome. But to 2/3 of these heathens, it's gonna be terrifying because it's gonna be strange looking at it. All right, an object causing fear. You know, fear of Yahweh, respect. Wow, check this out. This is Zechariah 1:21. Then said I, what come these 20 and verse 20? I mean, and Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai showed me 4 carpenters, 4 archangels, right? Then said I, what come these to do? All right, what are the chariots for? And he said, and he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man lift up his head. All right, the horns represent the 4 kingdoms, from Babylon to the Persians, to the Greeks, to Rome, the Roman Empire. And the angels are set up to destroy that. But these are come to fray them. All right, the word fray means to chase in fear, to chase in flight. So the angels are set up to chase them away. All right. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, the heathens, the nations, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. So the angels are set up to put these nations in fear. That's why the scriptures keep talking about wings, you know. When you hear wings, it's talking about the chariots, man. Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, see, that's how the chariots are going to show up, like in V formation, in formation. They don't have to be in V formation, but in formation. And they're going to be flying in the sky. So as birds flying, so will Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai of hosts. All right, Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh, the Lord of armies, shall defend Jerusalem. So at the same time, it's going to be fearful and dreadful to some when they see these chariots. To others, it's going to be awesome. All right, defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it, man. So he's going to send his angels to preserve the elect, according to Psalms 91. They're going to keep you in all your ways. All right, so let's get back to it. Ezekiel 1:18. As for their rings, it says the rim or the strakes. We know what the strakes are on the edge of an aircraft in the sky. They were so high that they were dreadful, meaning fearful, man, awesome. You know, scary. And their rings were full of eyes round about them 4, and them eyes represent windows. So the chariots had windows on the edges of them. All right, and the eye, a fountain, a physical eye, as showing spiritual qualities as the eye of a landscape. So basically being able to see through them. All right, and people looking through them, you're going to see angels. All right, because it said it's a fearful sight to see those chariots, man. And the 2/3 in these heathens is going to be extremely fearful to see and dreadful to look at. And they're going to be huge. Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. See, they're not scared right now, but when they see it, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, right? So far beyond all that they look for, man. So all that they're looking for, the way the Lord had, he said, my ways are not your ways, man. And what the Lord has set up for the deliverance of Israel, the elect, is going to be strange to these people. But they're going to see it. The Lord said all these nations shall see his salvation happening. They're not going to be able to do anything about it. All right? So it's going to be strange. That's what that guy was saying in the beginning of the video. If you go back and watch it, he said it was a strange sight to see those chariots, that they call UFOs, hovering over the firmament, the outer edges of the earth, or the atmosphere. And on the same day, it was one hovering over Florida. And he's like, yeah, were they together? Yeah, they was together. All those chariots, man. Scripture saying Amos that the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. He's going to destroy it from off the face of the earth. All right, that's his intention, to judge this place. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1, 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed. Right? What he say? Awesome. Just looking at them chariots, they're gonna be amazed, man, at the strangeness of his salvation. So far beyond all that they look for. They gonna think of the aliens in those chariots. Or they stuck in a damn movie or something. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and a proverb of reproach. That's right. Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. All right, this one wasn't a flying roll, but you have the one that's long like a pillar as well. They call it the pill-shaped UFO or UAP, but it's a chariot. All right, different sizes and shapes and colors, but they're huge. And the edges of it, it's dreadful, real high up. You gotta look up at them. It ain't like on the movies, you know, Esau they have in the movies, like on Space Navigator. All right, they had the chariots like a little boy could walk up to it and just touch it, and the chariot be come up to about his shoulder or something. Or Esau say Area 51, which is really a nuclear testing facility. They'll say they got a chariot over there that crashed, which is a lie, and they showed pictures of it, and it's like small as a human being. No, the Lord said the rings of those chariots are dreadful and terrible, like a giant building, man. They call them apartments in the sky, chambers. Rest here in your chambers until the destruction be overpassed. Those are chambers up there, like apartments, like buildings, man. All right. The Lord said He set up His beams in the heavens. He got temples out there and everything. So and he said, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, the length thereof 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits, big as a football field, man. All right. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. It's going to be a curse to the wicked. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it. It's going to be judgment amongst the heathens and judgment amongst our people. All right. Everybody that's set up for judgment in the book of death is going to get their judgment, and ones that are set up for the book of life are going to get their judgment to life. I will bring it forth. So the Lord going to bring this chariot forth, man. These chariots. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, man. Man. And he ain't talking about just one chariot. It's going to be a lot of chariots, man. Say the clouds of heaven. That's what that guy kept mentioning, clouds. He said it was above the clouds, above the clouds. All right, so it's going to enter into the house of the thief and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of it, of his house. So people are going to see this chariot, man, and they might have him sit there for a little bit. And shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So these chariots going to shoot out a blast. It's like on War of the Worlds. And it's going to consume this place, Babylon, all right, with the missiles. So that's what it means, man. He said the chariots were tall, 20 foot something tall, man. Because their edges, their strakes, or the rim of it is high like a building, So with that, I'm going to say, hey, man, it's beautiful times for the elect, but some scary, scary stuff down the pipe for 2/3 in these heathens.